you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
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 Thank you. Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Deo, Deo.
Baby's got a burger and a shooter and that shake it won't go down. Baby's got a burger and a shooter and that shake it won't go down. Corrosion to her thighs, erosion, erosion of her pride. Baby's got corrosion now, corrosion now. Baby's got it.
Greetings and salutations from the far side of the moon. Oh, that looks weird. We'll have to fix that in post haste. Good evening. Wait, what? We did an evening show with my buddy Robert Moore and his friend Wayne Barkhouse. There's a couple of astronomy nerds work up at the University of North Dakota. And they stopped by and we were just shooting the BS. And I was getting on to them about how 3i Atlas is really a spaceship. And they were like, no, he's not. It's like, well, you haven't been up there. You don't know. Have you get your little magnifying glass and go, no. And until you do that, then I don't believe science. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Willie, you seriously, you need to stop typing behind the steering wheel. All right. Not that I don't think you can do it safely. It's just, the popo be everywhere. You know what I mean? And you don't want them all up in your biz nasty at any time, especially this time of year. They're looking to give people tickets. Oh, you got money to buy presents? Well, you got money to pay this dumbass speeding ticket I just gave you. You had to go to the cheap pharmacy in Durham. Nobody likes a bragger, Willie. See, Willie brag. But on the other show, I got the thing. Peon, what's up? Good to see you. The Egg Bowl starts in about 15 minutes. Can't wait to see how MSU screws this up. Hope your show is awesome and Fappy tweet is incredible. Yes. Peon knows those guys. The musician guys, or at least one of them, right? Good people. Good music too. Good North Mississippi music. There's actually a music scene in North Mississippi. Mostly blues scene, but you got like a lot of rockers. It's very off-putting with the thing here. I'm gonna have to. It's always this show is always always in metamorphosis. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, no, that's not gonna work. Okay, well I got something for that ass. When that shit doesn't work. So with $10 from Willie, thanks Willie. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays. I think that covers all of it. The happy holidays is a nice blanket. You know, people get offended when well, you say happy. It's not because of like some, you know, atheist thing or something. It's just you're just lazy. There's too many fucking holidays. I'm sorry. Yesterday I stuffed my once fat face, got drunk, live stream with Angie Moon, saw that, it was very good, and poked my belly with Ozempic. Uh-oh. All right there. I don't know if that's street lingo for horse or smack. Angel dust, whatever 70s drugs you're doing there. Thanks, Willie. Appreciate you. So Steve Wolprandt, what's going on? I really don't like this new name format thing with the ads. I tried looking up something. Well, I half-heartedly looked up something. Tried to look it up, but I couldn't figure it out. So I said, chicken in a bucket, fuck it. We'll see you next Christmas. So good to see you, Peon. I still want to know about Superman spinning the net of missiles in quest for peace. I mean, ain't nobody gonna answer that. That's, you know, that's in the Epstein files. You want that information? I'm sorry, my brother. That shit's classified and redacted. Chuck's Intergalactic UFO Show, Intergalactic, another dimension. So many non-comet attributes, and NASA still says it's a comet. Blurry photo says so. Trust me, bro. Yeah, exactly. Just like they did with the face on Mars. Remember, they put out that updated picture. And it looked like ass. It looked like somebody had used the paint program from Windows 3.11. Yeah. Name dropping. And blurred that shit out. It was just, it's terrible. Your friend Sherry Cothran from Mississippi was in a 1980s post-punk band called The Germans and later The Pregnant Men. Oh, from Mississippi. You don't happen to know from where in Mississippi, right? Mississippi is not all, it's not a monolith. There's different people in Mississippi for sure. By the way, today's format is going to be very laid back. This is Casual Friday, Black Friday edition. So we're not going to be going through a whole slew of news articles. We are going to go through some news articles, but we're going to do it a little different today. I'm going to be a little lazy, and you can help me out with that. CBC voter, good to see you. Happy Friday to you too. Who all up in here? I saw Max Sarjay up in here, up in this mug. Remember people used to say that? Man, he was all up in this mug, or he was all up in that mug. Right. Slang. How slang changes over the years. It's quite funny. But you know what never goes out of style? Cool. Saying something's cool. I don't know if Gen Z or the Gen Alpha or whatever's next. Whoever's next on deck, you know, they're going to, eventually some of them are going to say cool. Because cool is just another lazy thing to say, but it's also a nice thing to say. Right? You understand something. You understand? Cool. All right. You forgot what part of Mississippi? That's fine. North Mississippi is like more Bible Beltish. You get to central Mississippi, it's just kind of like a mixed bag. You got some coast rats that made it up that way, and you know, some of your Bible thumpers that slip down there. And plus you have Jackson there that neglects their people's water. And then you have the Gulf Coast. The Pine Belt, which is just all woods, and I lived in the woods, man. It was great. It was great, man. It was great. There's so many dead people. No matter, wait, what? Do I have a thing? Wait a minute. Then we'll have to take that out and post as well. So the coast is different. You got more of a New Orleans kind of influence there. You got New Orleans, which runs up, you know, Slidell, and then you got all the coast cities like Gulfport, Biloxi, Long Beach. And then it kind of bleeds over into, eastern South Mississippi, like Pascagoula. And then you get, over the bay, in Mobile there. So that whole stretch is like that's the Mardi Gras strip right there. So anytime you go on a Mardi Gras, if you're like, man, I want to go to the one in New Orleans, first off, you stupid. That shit's crazy. But okay, fine. You want to go to New Orleans in February, for Mardi Gras itself, that's fine. You're going to have a very hard time finding a hotel, to be honest with you. More often than not, you're probably going to have to stay in Mississippi. And if you're going to stay in Mississippi, you might as well party in Mississippi, because that parade down in Biloxi is very lit. It's very lit, as the kids say. It's like a cigarette. It's lit. The one in Long Beach is just, that's where death lives. There's always got to be some city. The Oakland of the South is Long Beach, Mississippi, and there's always it's not Long Beach. It's what is it? There's another town down there that they have that people that you'd always hear stories of knife fights and stuff like that. But I digress. All right. Happy Friday to you. This is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. We got a little poll going on here, and I don't know if you saw this or not. How was your turkey day? So too much food / booze. I had to work / half day thing. I argued with my family, and some combo of these, more or less. So it's not really more of less of a poll. It's just kind of like me being nosy about me getting up in your biz nasty. Anyway, is this thing still on? All right. So we're doing things a little bit different today. I usually pick out like 25, 30 news stories, and I feel like this is the turkey day hangover. So the next day you're just like, I don't really want to do anything, but I want to do a show. So what I've been doing this morning, and this is what you can kind of get a little insight into how I kind of do things around here. So one of my sources that I go to on here is antiwar.com. Right now, I don't work for them. They're not paying me to shout them out. I just think they do a good news aggregation there. Let me put this particular thing, if you want to have easy access to this, their latest news. Let me do this. Do the old man. Let me put my glasses on here, Sonny. Thank you. To right there, honey. Oh, sorry. Forgot I wasn't in the massage parlor. But yeah, so I'll check here. Like today is the 28th? Today the 28th? Today the 28th. Yes, it is. So this is all the news that up to date, and all the top stories are what's been updated or the newest, that sort of thing. I highly advise you, especially if you want to turn a friend on to more independent news, although a lot of these sources aren't really so much like independent. I mean, but a lot of these are not like mainstream media. A lot of these are sources that the mainstream media might shun, because they're not playing ball with the propaganda or whatever. I mean, always be skeptical of any sources, because they use various sources too, and more often it's hit than miss. But sometimes you get something you're like, I don't know. So always use your critical thinking skills there. If the Flesh Tones still do their yearly pilgrimage to New Orleans for Mardi Gras, I would go one of these days. Look, all I'm saying is to plan ahead, right? It helps if you have somebody, a friend that actually lives down there and you could crash with them. Because, dude, people are just like renting out their front yards for parking spaces down there. That's how crazy that shit is. You're getting 2 million people basically in a city that it can hold maybe about 500,000 people, right? I mean, it's one, if it's one of those, bucket list things, yes, fine, do it. Go on Mardi Gras. If you're going to do it, go on Mardi Gras. Make sure if you have a heart condition or something, you'd bring your pills. But yeah, and just be prepared to pay an expensive hotel bill. Now, what I suggest is going like on the weekend. They have parades on the weekends leading up to Mardi Gras. I think it's like 2 or 3 weekends, right? You go on one of those weekends, you can still get a really nice, cool parade with like probably half the people or more than that, and you still have a good time. If you're claustrophobic, you probably want to avoid Fat Tuesday, and maybe try the weekend thing. Anyway, so, and if you guys have any news that you want to talk about this morning, drop everybody's deputized. Charlie, I thought you were only nocturnal. What are you doing out of your crypt? Who summoned you? Did someone find the amulet and did they awaken you? I'm sorry, it was a wrong number. Now, good to see you, Charlie. I always see him on the secret show. Not a lot of people like to do the morning thing. Even though it's like the further west you go, the earlier it is, kind of thing. But like, if you're in like the UK, I think you're probably 6 hours ahead. So it's like maybe 4:30, almost 4:30 there. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe 5:30. But yeah, we got peeps all over the place. So I've been pulling from here, and I've got a couple stories that I want to get from here. So I know you guys been talking about this. We've been off for the last 2 or 3 shows, I think. Except for the Undercurrent. I was on there with Laine. I can't disappoint Laine. But I had other stuff to do for the show, unfortunately. And apparently I still have more work to do because that looks just awful over there. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a perfectionist. So one of the 2 National Guard members wounded in targeted shooting has died. That's according to Trump. U.S. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, one of 2 West Virginia National Guard members wounded in a targeted shooting near the White House on Wednesday, has died. That's according to Trump. Yesterday, Trump made the announcement as he made calls to the U.S. military on Thanksgiving. It's a nice thing to say, calling families and saying hi. Oh yeah, and one of these people's dead. Beckstrom, only 20, was a highly respected young magnificent person, Trump said. Captain Peon dropping $20. I don't know, is that gonna let me do it? Look at that. Is that a bird on drugs? Thank you. That's very sweet of you. And thanks for the $19.99. You can't do 20? You cheat bastard. Those pennies are going away, man. Pretty soon your little 99-cent thingy's not gonna work. Gotta round up. Hey, Kate. Good morning. We're taking it easy, as the Eagles once sang this morning. So it's kind of a little freeform view. If you got some topic you want to talk about, Kate, drop a link in the chat there. If you got a news story or something, that goes for the rest of yous as well. We don't need, and our slackers, our lurchers over on Rumble, and God knows what you're doing over there on Facebook, you evil, lovely people. It looks like a farting aerobics pair. Indeed. Maybe that's what it is. Peon, you're going to the game. Be careful. There's lunatics. If anybody doesn't know, the Egg Bowl is the yearly college football, sports ball tournament of two teams. The University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. Some people like to say hotty toddy, but versus the Mississippi State University. Go Bulldogs. Go Bulldogs. Gling, 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 gling. That's me ringing a cowbell. I don't have a cowbell sound effect. I don't have it. I don't have cowbell. So anyway, we're all over the place. So the other wounded National Guard member, Andre Wolf, remains in critical condition. The other man's fighting for his life. He's in bad shape. So U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro, that's just weird. This is some idiocracy shit. The top federal prosecutor for the nation's capital posted a statement on social media following Trump's announcement. She said some shit. Hearts and prayers. She didn't say thoughts and prayers. She said our hearts and prayers go out to the family of 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom of the National Guard, a hero who volunteered to serve D.C. on Thanksgiving for people she never met and gave the ultimate sacrifice. Pirro said in the post. Okay. Earlier Thursday, federal officials revealed more details about the attack and the suspected shooter. You can't think of anything. I have a new music show posted, but it's what? That's not how you promote yourself, Kate. Yeah, I got a show, but it's boring. I mean, I do that with this show, but still, stop copying my bits. All right, so okay. So the shooting took place around 2:15 p.m. Local time on Wednesday near the Farragut West Metro Station. Pirro said the suspect, Ramanula Lakanwal, I think that's Lakanwal, Ramanula. I keep wanting to say ramen noodles. I'm sorry. It's just, and now I can't get it out of my head. Drove from Washington State to Washington State, oh damn, cross country to target the Guard members. She said the suspect, an Afghan national, ambushed the Guard members, opening fire with a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver. One guardsman is struck, goes down, and then the shooter leans over and strikes the guardsman again. Another guardsman is struck several times, she said. Other National Guard members quickly responded and helped subdue the suspected shooter after he was shot by a Guard member, she said. West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey went to D.C. Wednesday night and visited the Guard members in the hospital overnight, according to his office. Pray for our guardsmen. Yes, thoughts and prayers, all that stuff. The governor also met with the president to discuss the investigation. So these facts demand a comprehensive investigation so we can bring those responsible to justice. We'll work with federal authorities, yada, yada. In an interview on Thanksgiving, Morrissey told ABC News DC affiliate WJLA, that's WJLA on the East Coast, your news for DC, that the two guardsmen had volunteered for their mission in the nation's capital. The governor said he spoke to Trump and top administration officials the night of the shooting about the ongoing investigation. They want to have a complete investigation. They want to get to the bottom of this. I think people want justice. People want accountability. And that is a theme that's shared throughout the highest levels of the administration, Morrissey said. And I think everyone's sickened to death by what happens. But now we have to show respect and go through the judicial process, uphold the rule of law, and make sure at the end there's accountability for what's been done. Morrissey said the West Virginia National Guard takes pride in its mission in Washington. Yes, so there's some propaganda there. The good people, yada, yada, or misled, probably didn't have anything else going on. Brigadier General Leland D. Blanchard II My God, there was a sequel. Commander of the D.C. National Guard was emotional as he talked about the struggles Beckstrom and Wolf's families were facing as other Americans celebrated the Thanksgiving holiday. Regardless of the outcome, we know that their lives, their family, their families, lives are all changed forever because one person decided to do this. Pirro said that the suspect will be charged with several counts, including assault with intent to harm and criminal possession of a weapon. She noted that those charges could change depending on the fate of the wounded guard members. One's already dead, so that's going to change. The suspect's motive is still unclear, according to officials speaking at a news conference. FBI director and former band member of Dr. Teeth. I can't. He looks like one of the band members from the Electric, whatever that was. Cash Patel looks like a Muppet from Dr. Teeth's band. I'll say it right here in live television. He told reporters the probe is ongoing investigation of terrorism. I mean, seriously, look at this guy. If you give him some crazy hair, he looks like Animal. And that's Janine. There's that Judge Janine lady. She's like 70,000 years old, but she's been like preserving herself in plastic and the tears of children, I believe. Investigators searched the suspect's Bellington, Washington home and interviewed tenants for more information. According to Patel, he also said interviews were taking place in San Diego, but declined to provide further details, saying he had to get back to Electric Mayhem. He had to get back to the band. He said, dude, we got a gig. Sorry, this is not funny. Death is not funny, but dark humor is funny. And it's just jokes, folks. It's like Sam Kinison said. He said, they're just jokes, folks. They're not going to hurt you. Anyama! Anyama! He noted that the FBI received confirmation from the Department of Defense and CIA that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces. Some of those who work forces are the same who burn crosses. That's a song. That's not the name of the song. That's the one where it says, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Unless it's the jab, then, well, fuck me, I guess I'll do what you tell me. Sorry. Oops. Okay. So he noted that the FBI received confirmation from the Department of Defense and CIA that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces. We are fully investigating that aspect of his background as well, to include any known associates that are either overseas or here in the U.S. of A. Patel said in between sets. Sorry. Lackenwall, who Pirro said had a wife and 5 children, came to the U.S. in 2021 under the Biden administration. Homeland Security Christine Noem said in a statement Wednesday evening, the Democrats are shit, but the Republicans just do the same thing Democrats do. They always, if it's bad, they're just going to blanket blame the Democrats. And at this point, people want specific, like, what are you specifically blaming them for? And what are the Democrats specifically blaming the Republicans for? You can't keep having these blanket complaints like that. He applied for asylum in 2024, was granted that status in April of this year under the Trump administration. According to 3 law enforcement sources, he previously worked with the USG. Yo, what's up? Including CIA. Oh, of course he did. As a member of a partner force in Kandahar that ended in 2021 following the withdrawal from Afghanistan, CIA Director John Ratcliffe said in a statement. Oh, he worked for the CIA. Wow. I'm shocked. Zit. Oh, that's me. I'm shocked. The suspect would have been vetted against classified and unclassified holdings when he came here as part of the asylum process, said ABC News contributor John Cohen, former head of intelligence for the Department of Homeland Security and a former U.S. counterterrorism coordinator. And you know what, girls? He makes his own bread. He bakes his own bread at home. He's a catch. He was actually granted asylum under the Trump administration. This does raise the question whether the administration is focusing enough on terrorism threats versus civil immigration enforcement. You think? Well, he's already made groups that don't exist terrorist organizations. So, I mean, dreaming is next. If you like to dream, they're going to come after you. So Trumpy and his old lady, Melania, are spending Thanksgiving at his Mar-a-Lago club in Florida, and were not at the White House during the time of the incident. Trump released a video statement Wednesday night calling the shooting an act of hatred and ordering the re-examination of all Afghan immigrants admitted under the Biden administration. And just remember, folks, Afghanistan's got a little tete-a-tete kind of thing going on with Pakistan right now, right? So you got to follow these little trails. One thing just doesn't lead to the next thing. It leads to other things along the way, like following the money trail too. That's always fun. If you're looking for the truth, that is. Yep. If you're not, well, then just move along. He ordered an additional 500 guard troops to be deployed to D.C. Trump planned on making a traditional phone call to members of the military Thursday night, but it was not immediately known if he would speak to any National Guard members. I thought he was throwing a tennis ball or something like that. I saw this little yellow thing in his hand. Is he smoking a ciggy? It looks like he's smoking a fat doob. It looks like he's about to fire up a cheech. Have some of that electric lettuce in the electric mayhem. The National Guard was deployed to the nation's capital as part of Trump's federal takeover of the city and crime crackdown in August. According to the most recent update, there were 2,188 Guard personnel assigned to D.C. That's a lot of soldiers in an American city. On Tuesday, during the traditional turkey pardoning at the White House, Trump touted his administration's takeover of D.C. streets. He said it was one of our most unsafe places anywhere in the U.S. It is now considered a totally safe city. Okay, sure, Baghdad Bob. Crime was going down before he put those troops in there. And now that's like, well, when you have martial law, that's usually what happens. You could walk down any street in Washington. You're going to be just fine. I want to thank the National Guard. I want to thank you for the job you've done here. It's incredible, Trump said at the event. So that's the update on the shooting person, lady, thing, Glavin, or the people. So one of them has died. The other one, I think, is going to be okay, maybe. Maybe not. That's right, man. What's up, Laine P? Laine P in the house. Folks, if you want to subscribe to the Undercurrent on YouTube, the link is down in the description below, along with our mutual aid links and links for us too. So, yeah, fire up a cheat. I used to hear that. Amen. I would hear people in California say that. The people down south wouldn't do that. They'd be just like, y'all don't smoke, y'all. Okay. Every once in a while in California, yo, bro, you want to fire up a cheech? Like, is that code for something else? I don't do butt stuff. I'm sorry. Wait, what? So, wait a minute. Is this in here twice? Okay. All right. We got a James Lee video coming up shortly. Keep your pants on. So I wanted to show you this first. This will let me do it. No. Okay, they'll let me do it. So this is all right, they'll let me do that. Okay, dog, boss. All right. So Abu Obeida's voice haunts Israel following cyber attack. So you're like, cyber attack? What happened? The sophisticated electronic intrusion targeting bus station information screens across several Israeli cities, including Ashdod, Ramat Gan, and Modi'in, has resulted in a public scare. The compromised screens interrupted scheduled travel updates to display and broadcast Arabic chants, Quranic verses, and an audio message strongly resembling the voice of Abu Obeida, the spokesperson for the Izz-ad-Din al-Qasim Brigades, or the Al-Qasim Brigades, the Casey Qasim Brigades. And now, back to the revolution. The content included vows of retaliation against Israeli aggressions across the occupied Palestinian territory. So here's like, this is some of the, yes, do it for me. So this is what some of the things they caught. What? That was it? No.
To hell with Trump and Netanyahu.
You hear that? To hell with Trump and Netanyahu? Let's see. We'll do it. Start at the beginning.
To hell with Trump and Netanyahu.
So all this is in Hebrew. That's crazy. So they hacked. That's why, that's why you don't want everything hooked up to the grid. Something as harmless as transportation information boards can be hacked. They've done that in movies, right? Some of these hackers will hack like the highway signs, and stuff like that, and they're like, you can't do that, man. People can't do that. That's stupid. That's just ignorant. You can't do that. Well, fuck yeah, you can do that. Back to this. Both Israeli media outlets and transportation authorities confirmed the incident, noting that the screens displayed Takbirat, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. I'm probably fucking that up too. So don't do a fatwa on me because I fucked up this name. I fuck up all these names. I'm an equal opportunity name fucker upper. And recorded clips, some of which reportedly mimicked warning signs, escalating the sense of panic among passengers. Channel 14 reported that the National Cyber Directorate was promptly notified and is treating the event as a suspected cyber attack of a nationalist nature. The Ministry of Transportation has launched a formal investigation into the origin of the hack. The event occurs amid lingering ambiguity surrounding the status of Abu Obeida following early unconfirmed Israeli reports of his death. Despite a formally declared ceasefire in Gaza, Israeli occupation forces persist in targeting Palestinian areas across the Strip, escalating the death toll of its genocide, which has already killed and wounded over 250,000 Palestinians and decimated the vast majority of the Gaza Strip. So you press people, you press them, and you press them, and you press them, or in this case, you oppress them, And people have a breaking point. And when they have a breaking point, they look for the worst ways to punish you, right? And more often than not, it's it's psychological torture that does the trick. So yeah. So if you're going to be someone in Hamas, you have to think in the 21st century, right? You can't think that you're going to have armies and go after them with hordes of people. You have to use technology. It's the weapons of the 21st century is EMPs. You don't need a nuke. You don't need in fact, you're probably not going to see nukes. I saw a poll that said something like 70% of Americans think that we're headed for nuclear war. I don't think so. They're devising. I saw this video of China has this rail gun where I guess the projectile can go like Mach 7 or something like that. Some insane speeds. So nukes, I'm not worried so much about nukes. The only thing I worry about nuke is if it gets in the wrong hands, meaning somebody who is hell-bent and determined to ignite that thing. A joker who just wants to see the world burn type. Those are the cats I'm afraid of, because everybody else knows if you get into a nuclear war, you're blowing up each other's money. That shit ain't gonna happen. They're not gonna have any of that. Why is this open? You can go away, mister. Yeah. So, and in this case, with Israel and the cyber attacks, you're going to see more of that kind of stuff, because psychological attacks are much easier to pull off than anything with explosives. With explosives, there's a lot more planning, and then you have to worry about actually killing people, physically killing them. Why kill them physically when you can kill them electronically? There's that one. Like I said, we're just kind of all over the place here. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I watch these James Lee videos. I like what he does. I'm still skeptical, because don't fall in love. Don't fall in love with journalists, right? They're people just like anybody else. And, sometimes they can slip and fall. So that's why you always want to try and keep them upright and staying on the course they set for themselves. Otherwise, they fall in with the wrong people and they end up start doing dumb shit and nobody gives a shit about. So this one, he's talking about private equity. He said, I exposed private equity. This came out like a few days ago. Hopefully you can hear this. Let me know if you can't.
Private equity is going to confiscate your phone if you so dare as to want to film your kids play sports. No, I am not joking. Take a listen. Doing this is about to become illegal. That's right. Wall Street is working on prohibiting filming your kids at sporting events. This is reporting by The Lever, quote, Black Bear Sports Group, an emerging youth hockey empire and the largest owner-operator of hockey rinks in the country, is among the private equity-backed companies that are amassing a chokehold on recording and streaming youth sports. At Black Bear-owned ice rinks, parents cannot record, post, or live stream their kids' hockey games online. Per official company policy, according to staff at those venues, some rink attendants said that they will confiscate attendees' recording devices if they find them. Confiscating phones, banning parents from filming their kids playing sports. Like, what are we doing here, America? Well, evidently, Black Bear is trying to get parents to buy their streaming service that costs between $25 to $50 a month just to watch their kids play sports. Just out of comparison, Netflix is like $17.99 a month, okay? Now, Black Bear Sports Group, the company that's buying up all the local sporting facilities, is owned by a private equity firm called Blackstreet Capital. The CEO is this guy named Murray Gunty, and he used to also work at Blackstone Group. You know, the company that's buying up all the houses and killing the American dream. Yeah, that one. Somebody wrote this in a recent review saying that Black Bear Sports Group is a business that, quote, acts like they care about youth sports. Every rink they buy up to add to their monopoly ends up neglected and run down. They're driving the price of youth hockey way up while rinks are breaking down. Not sure what they're improving with all the money they're stealing from players' families. People ask me all the time, what does evil look like? And I would say it's guys like Murray Gunty, people that you've never even heard of, but are doing everything they can to just line their pockets while at the same time destroying humanity. My clip has since gone viral on Instagram and X, and guess what? Black Bear Sports has responded by saying, quote, "We've seen some confusion online around recording and live streaming at our rinks, and we want to clear things up. Parents are always welcome," they say, "to record videos and take photos of their own children during games and practices. Capturing the most exciting moments of our children's play is an important part of youth sports, and we have never proposed taking that away. The only restriction," they say, "is live streaming, broadcasting, simulcasting, or any other form of transmitting full games or practices. Allowing this kind of broadcasting of other children and players is a significant safety risk, given that it is impossible for our rinks, leagues, and teams to ensure that everyone on camera has given consent, especially young children and their parents." So that was posted on their Instagram, and they are absolutely getting destroyed right now in the comment section. And by the way, they are also in a mad dash to delete those comments as we speak. But of course, they are lying, and I have the proof. You know me, I always bring the receipts. This is an excerpt from the contract that the players and teams have to sign, and it says, quote, "Licensees and its participants, players, coaches, trainers, spectators, and supporters shall have no right to film, televise, broadcast, or webcast any events held in the arena for personal or commercial use." Yeah, that's right. Personal or commercial use. So this, oh, of course you can take photos and videos of your kids. You just can't live stream it. That's 100% bullshit. And they know it, and now we know it. This whole thing is all about lining their pockets. This is all about Murray Gunty wanting to make as much money as possible. And I want to share with you the real-world impact this has on the community. This guy says, "I am the owner of," redacted, I want to make sure to protect his privacy. He says that we started in one of these rinks before they bought it, meaning Black Bear Sports Group. We became really big and successful because we treated the kids so well and made everything affordable. Me and my coaches all have real jobs, so we didn't do this for the money. When Black Bear came in and went after my son, first demanding he play at their rink or they would destroy us. Exact words. Then they got angry because I gave away scholarships to our camps for needy families. Like one young 12-year-old lost his father. They said I couldn't do that even though I paid full price, $600 an hour for the ice. We then had our equipment vandalized. We were relentlessly attacked online and in person, so I finally complained to Murray Gunty. His response was to fire me from my coaching job, my Zamboni job, and ban my hockey school from every rink they own. I even had to pay for the ice at a few other Black Bear rinks. They canceled the ice time. This is just evil in the most banal way possible, which is how evil manifests itself most of the time, is through dealings like this. I'll read you another example here. Please dig into the Black Bear thing more. The streaming is kids play compared to what they actually are doing. They buy rinks and then they make the teams play in their own league. I live in the Philadelphia area and they have bought all but one rink within 45 minutes of me. They bought 3 of the 4, so we have to travel even further now and we cannot play those teams. They jack up the prices of the ice and the cost to play on their teams for kids. Since they own all the rinks, it's not really feasible to go anywhere else, and it's such a great sport that parents just have to deal with it. It's pure evil for profit. I absolutely hate it. I grew up playing ice hockey, and it's one of the best sports ever. I want this to get to state or even federal as monopolistic practices. Fuck Black Bear. I know that was a little bit vulgar, but I couldn't agree with that guy more, right? These guys are literally, like I said, pure evil. Come on, just take a look at this guy. Look at his face. This guy is not a good dude, okay? Trust your instincts there. And in terms of how much they're increasing the price by, I had a person reach out to me and saying that they used to spend $486 to rent the ice rink for a game slot, hour and a half long. Now it's over $700, and that adds up, he says, for practices, games, etc. I think this story just kind of hits home for me because playing sports as a kid was like such a core memory of mine and such a great experience, right? I played basically every single sport you can imagine, including hockey. I don't know if I was ever that good at it, but it was at least accessible for me. And more than just me, it's like sort of a cultural touchstone of America, right? Mothers, fathers bonding with their kids in youth sports. And to take that away because you want to line your pockets is absolutely disgusting. So here's what we can do. I have compiled a list of all the ice rinks that Black Bear Sports Group owns. Feel free to pause and take a screenshot of this, or you can still find it on their website at this URL, blackbearsportsgroup.com/arenas. And the idea here is to call them out, make your voices heard, because this is one of those issues you can actually change. You can actually do something about this. If you're involved in youth hockey, make a list of demands. Organize, boycott, because if we don't fight for the youth of this country, then what do we have left? My name is James Laine. This is the 5149 Show. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, or if you have more information or personal experience about this, feel free to reach out to me privately through DMs or email, because this is, once again, evil, and we have a duty to fight evil. If you want to support my work, please take a second to like this video, share it, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit that notification bell so you could be the first to know when my next video drops. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next one.
Capturing the other areas where there's profit in our buildings, whether it's merchandise or in this case, broadcasting. There are two different types of products out there. One is the surveillance camera always on model? Is the surveillance camera always on model?
Yikes. Yeah, so I mean, even if you're not into into the sports ball, you still have to feel for these kids, right? You can think of yourself, remember when you were a kid. You know, when the Earth had just cooled, the bombardment of meteorites towards Earth had finally ceased. The rivers and oceans of magma were seeping back into the thing. What's up, Bella? What's up, Yonina? You didn't have any cranberry sauce? You can still go get some. Go get that canned shit. Go get that I call it the canberry sauce. Because it's when you pop it, when you open that can and then you slide it out, it's just like this. It looks like this Jello can just waving at you. It's like the guy at the tire shop, the wacky inflatable zoom guy. I'm sorry you didn't have any cranberry sauce. You poor thing. You know, I'm always crying when you don't get your cranberry sauce. Anywho, might as well hook up our folks here, our mutual aid buddies in the space. We got our buddy Justice for Aspen, who was she was arrested down in Georgia under a stupid law. If you're a passenger in a car and you didn't do anything, if the driver did something, then you get charged too. So more legal bullshit that they have to deal with. So, and all these, all the links are down below in the description. And if you can't donate to any of these, if you could share out the links, that helps too. Our buddy Chanda is dealing with round 2 of her cancer battle. And, you know, anything medical these days ain't cheap. And of course, that's especially true for cancer medication. They do have the means to help her fight this. I just hope, you know, she gets the funds that she needs to get the help that she needs to. Cancer's no joke. It's some awful shit, y'all. Our buddy Cowboy Kitty's sister-in-law, who was taken by ICE Natalia. She's on the verge of being deported. I think that's what Cowboy said. But she's trying to raise money for her legal fees. And a couple of our friends who had lost their homes in fires, our buddy NoliDee, she can use all the help she can get too. She's she's always out there trying to raise funds and help people who are, down on their luck and destitute. So, this is hopefully she gets some good karma back to her, and she gets the donations and stuff she needs. And our buddy, of course, our buddy Kevin over at Black Bear News, lost his home in the LA fire there, the Eaton fire. He could use your help as well. Like I said, all those donation links are down below in the descriptions. Now we come to the wait a minute. Hold on a second. So checking the poll so far. No, don't be shy, turtle. So 56% of you to 9 votes. Some combo of either too much food, booze, had to work, half day, I argued with my family, and 44% too much booze and food. That's probably the only two options there really was. Too much food and booze, and then too much other shit. You were you were not expecting to get into. Let me see here. What today? So I'm trying to look for some other today. If you're just joining us, today is we're calling it Casual Friday. I didn't plan like 30, 40 stories for you, unfortunately. Let's see. Oh, this looks like something silly. Not silly, but silly in a fucked up way. If I can do this right. Come on. So this is from The Cradle. So Gaza doctor kidnapped in ambush coordinated by French journalist in the air quotes. What's that about? So, okay. A new Arabic language video released online anonymously reveals details about Israel's capture of Palestinian doctor and director of Gaza's field hospitals, Marwan al-Hams, earlier this year. The video alleges that Hams, the director of field hospitals in Gaza, was lured to the location where he was abducted in July after being told to participate in a documentary about him titled Heroes of Gaza. The footage includes excerpts of the Palestinian doctor talking to a French woman who allegedly recruited him for a fictional film project in order to lure him into a trap. It's a trap. The captions on the video say the fake journalist succeeded in drawing him into an ambush and deceiving him. Ooh, how scandalous. The woman identified herself as Charlotte and said she was behind an organization called Belgian Consultations. Dr. Marwan is seen as a hero by some people, but this is not the truth. Marwan is part of a brutal terrorist organization, the captions in the video added. According to Israeli news site Ynet, the video appears to have been released by Israeli intelligence elements. Uh-oh, I smell propaganda. Last week, the Israeli army and Shin Bet released a joint statement claiming that Hams is a Hamas operative who had knowledge of the location of Hadar Golden's body. You know, Hams is just Hamas without that extra A. I'm just saying. Goldin was taken captive by Hamas in 2014. His body was released earlier this month during the Gaza ceasefire. Hams was involved in declaring the death of Goldin after his abduction by Hamas in the 2014 Gaza war and is suspected of knowing where he was buried in the tunnel in Rafah, the statement went on to say. It added that the detention of the doctor was part of dozens of covert operations over the past 6 months aimed at returning Golden's body. Tel Aviv has also claimed Hams is a brigade doctor serving Hamas's military wing. On Thursday, Ham's daughter, Tasneem, was released by Israel alongside 4 other Palestinian detainees. Israeli troops had abducted her in southern Gaza in early October. Is that her right there, I think? The Palestinian Center for the Defense of Prisoners reported earlier this week that it has evidence that Israeli authorities abducted Tasneem to use her as blackmail and pressure her father into providing statements and confessions that he assisted in identifying Golden's body. Over the 2-year genocide in Gaza, the Israeli army decimated the Gaza Strip's medical sector, destroying hospitals, killing health workers, and abducting scores of medical personnel. Last month, Israel extended by 6 months the detention of Dr. Husam Abu Safia, who was abducted from northern Gaza's Kamal Adwan hospital last year. Abu Safia was abducted by Israeli troops in December last year and taken to the notorious Dearman detention center where Palestinians have been killed, tortured, and sexually assaulted. Yeah. And again, that's where the some of the people in the latest flotilla, some of them were held there at that prison and said they saw some crazy fucked up shit. He was detained with dozens of others during an Israeli raid on Kamal Adwan Hospital, one of many throughout the war. According to the Euromed Human Rights Monitor, people were executed during the raid, including medical staff and displaced civilians who had been sheltering in the hospital. Yeah, that was the first places they bombed, were those hospitals and schools. Yeah, Gaza doctor kidnapped. They're pushing as many buttons as they can, to try to see, how far they can push these people. And I'm telling you, you put that much pressure on people, and they tend to do some off kilter things, because it's really hard to rein in that many people once they start getting the, once one person gets brave enough to do something about it, and then you get somebody else on board, and then it snowballs, and you can forget about diplomacy. What else we got here? Iran demands accountability after U.S. admits role in certain strikes. Yeah, good luck with that. They already said they did it. Well, they said they did it, but they didn't say they were going to be accountable for it, because they're assholes. You can't. See, these countries think that Trump's going to do this regular shit that they're used to. And it's like, no, he ain't going to do it. He's like the mirror universe Rodney Dangerfield. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants, but not for the fun and for the love of people like our Rodney. R.I.P. King. Macron says France to restore voluntary military service. Interesting. Let's see here. I don't like these stories that are like, he says he's going to do something. Now, if it's something that's like already planned and like it's in the works, yeah, I'll probably, but they said, oh, we're going to have a meeting in October. And then they're like, no, you're not. Stop lying. So I don't like to report that kind of stuff. This is more of a preaching to the choir story, but just a reminder for those in the back. U.S. peacekeeping force reports over 10,000 Israeli violations since the ceasefire in Lebanon, right? So not only they have a ceasefire with Hamas, they have one in Lebanon too. But The UN peacekeeping force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, said on Thursday that more than 10,000 Israeli air and ground violations were recorded since a November 2024 ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hezbollah. So it's been in a year, 10,000 violations. That's just in Lebanon. In a statement marking the first anniversary of the ceasefire, UNIFIL reaffirmed that full adherence to UN Security Council Resolution 1701 in both letter and spirit remains the only path to lasting calm along the Blue Line, the de facto border between Lebanon and Israel. The mission said it has worked throughout the past year with its partners to help stabilize South Lebanon, noting that peacekeepers maintained patrols, supported the Lebanese army's redeployment, and subsequent operations aimed at securing the exclusive control of weapons south of the Litani River and assisted in clearing roads and hazards. Despite these efforts, challenges remain, including the continued presence of unauthorized weapons and assets and the Israeli forces' maintenance of positions inside Lebanese territory, it added. UNIFIL stressed that civilians on both sides of the Blue Line have suffered greatly because of this conflict, emphasizing that their safety and the stability of the area must remain a priority. 10,000 violations in 1 year. And that's the ones they know about, right? It's probably more than that. What's up? Why you CBC, why are you drooling? Wait, Kate, you didn't do Thanksgiving at your house, but when I walked into the house at 5 p.m. after being out all day, every leftover went into the cast iron skillet. The mess was so good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, when you make that that conglomeration of just, taste that tastes good together. Nums. So good. All right, what else do we got here? How are we doing on time? 11:17, really? Okay, I guess it's not too bad. Why do I do this to myself? Okay, let's check somewhere else here. Check some of my other sources of information for you, since I was not prepared today, and that was by design because I'm a lazy bastard. Let's see here. Let's try. Let's see if there's going on anything. I like checking the news about America from other sources outside of America to see if the propaganda is different or if there's any propaganda at all. So let's see. Trump pauses immigration from third world countries. Palestinian American teen freed after 9 months of Israeli detention. Cosmodrome damaged. See, like stories like this, where like Al Jazeera, for example, has Trump says U.S. will stop Venezuelan drug trafficking by land soon. He says a lot of shit. And I guess if you're like some sort of quote unquote journalist, you just eat that shit up and that gets all the clicks and likes and stuff like that. Canada's Carney rolls back climate rules to boost investments. Let's see. Oh, so yeah, it was windy around here yesterday too. So the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York. Yeah, there's a nice little strip of between buildings on the streets there that you get those wind tunnels. Those things are crazy. All right, I know you can't see none of this. This is fine. What is Common Dreams at? I like Common Dreams. Common Dreams gets a little shit libby sometimes, so you have to watch out for them. But they do good domestic story work. So let's take a look at them. See what they got going on. Global Black Friday strikes against Amazon target techno-authoritarian assault on workers. Ooh. Amazon workers and their allies worldwide took to the streets on Black Friday, the busiest shopping day of the year, to protest the e-commerce behemoths' exploitation of workers, relentless union-busting contributions to the worsening climate emergency, and plans to replace employees en masse with robots. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and their political allies are betting on a techno-authoritarian future, but this Make Amazon Pay Day, workers everywhere are saying enough, said Christy Hoffman, General Secretary of UNI Global Union. For years, Amazon has squashed workers' right to democracy on the job through a union and the backing of authoritarian political figures. Its model is deepening inequality and undermining the fundamental rights of workers to organize, bargain collectively, and demand safe, fair workplaces. From Germany to Bangladesh, thousands of workers walked off the job on Friday and marched against Amazon's labor practices to push for better wages, working conditions, and union protections. Last month, Amazon reported over $21 billion. Last month, Amazon reported over $21 billion in profits for the third quarter of 2025. Still, that's just one quarter. A 38% increase compared to the same time last year. During the heat waves, the warehouse feels like a furnace. People faint, but the targets never stop, said Neha Singh, an Amazon worker in Manesar, India, referring to the company's productivity quotas. Even if we fainted, we couldn't take a day off and go home. If we took that day off, our pay would be cut, and if we took 3 days off, they would fire us. Amazon treats us as expendable. Indeed, they do. Yeah, as do a lot of other corporate places. We are joining Make Amazon Pay, said Singh, to demand the most basic rights, safety, dignity, and the chance to go home alive. Yeah, the going home alive part, I'm on board with that, definitely. Make Amazon Pay is an alliance of labor unions and advocacy groups organizing to stop Amazon from squeezing workers, communities, and the planet. The 2025 strikes and protests, which organizers described as the largest mobilization against Amazon to date, mark the 6th consecutive year of global actions organized by the coalition. The strike in Germany was characterized as the largest in Amazon's history, with around 3,000 workers expected to join picket lines across the country. The union representing Amazon workers in the U.S. voiced solidarity with striking German workers in a social media post on Friday, crediting them with inspiring the global Amazon worker movement for over a decade, and, of course, kick-ass chocolate and beer in Germany. Across the world, Amazon workers are walking off the job, marching through their cities, and standing shoulder to shoulder with communities to demand what every worker deserves: fair wages, safe conditions, the right to organize, and a future not dictated by algorithms and billionaires. Ooh, shots fired. Progressive International, a member of the alliance, said Friday. But the target is not only a company, it's the emerging system that Amazon now anchors, a techno-authoritarian order that fuses the power of big tech with the prerogatives of the far right, from Trump's ICE raids to Israel's genocide in Gaza, the group added. This week's actions point towards another horizon, one in which supply chains become sites of struggle, not submission, where warehouse workers link arms with tech workers, garment workers, indigenous communities, and migrants, where a global labor movement is capable of confronting a global system of power. And good on them too, right? Because this is where it's going. We're getting to that Judge Dredd future where everything, like cities, are corporations. Everything corporate. That's the privatization hell. I once had a discussion with one of my cousins. He's a highly libertarian person. Peace, Dove. What's up? Good to see you. Now let me put in lower print down at the bottom of the screen. I'm not saying all libertarians are like this. No, I don't think all groups are a monolith. You have cults within these political parties, but I don't think everybody's like that. That being said, he was very ridiculous in the fact that he thought that roads, like if you want to get from your house to the grocery store and back, you do, depending on who owned the roads, you would pay a toll for each road you drove down. All roads would be toll roads, and the owners of those roads would collect the toll. I said, first off, that's silly. Why are you even thinking like that? You know how long it would take to get somewhere? But that's the mindset. That's this, how people don't know how shit works. And, when you see giant corporations like Amazon and Walmart, I mean, when your workers are having to supplement their income with, with food, with SNAP or something like that, or welfare, cash benefits, because you're not making enough. So, and these companies are just going to keep getting away with it until, more and more people strike like this. Walmart needs to do this too. And some of these bigger retail companies too. Their people this is part of the general strike. Yes. I mean, I always talk about the general strike as you hit the main arteries. You get especially in transportation, your transportation of goods. You get the dock workers to strike. You get the airline cargo plane pilots to strike, or hell, get all the pilots to strike. You get the train crews to strike. You get truck delivery, like your big trucks and your small trucks. You get all those people to strike, to shut it down. And this is part of it too. Capitalism had its day, and it turns out humans don't really do capitalism very well without doing some evil shit. What else we got here? How's everybody doing? Orange whip? Orange whip? Orange whip? Orange whip? Nobody ever wants the orange whip. Spain maintains its decision to withdraw from Eurovision 2026 if Israel participates. Isn't that like some sort of singing competition or something? Let's see here. Oh, we were looking over here. Just what we're looking at. What else we got here? See, sellout of the century. Canada PM Carney ripped over tar sands pipeline deal. Surprise! What, the hedge fund guy? You're shocked at this? Surprise, surprise, Canada. That's what those people do. Trump halts U.S. commemoration of World AIDS Day. Really? That's just petty. UN condemns brazen Israeli killing of surrendering Palestinians in West Bank. Yeah, okay, all right. So, librarians and publishers alarmed as Tennessee libraries shut down for GOP book purge. Ooh, what's this bit of wickedness? Your local casino, Don Laughlin, has the best buffet. His family does so much for our local community. We all support this place. Oh, that's cool. Casino buffets. I used to work down on the Gulf Coast. They got casinos down there too. And I tell you, man, ooh, them buffets. Now not so much. But I haven't been in a buffet in a casino really in forever. So. But those buffets, top shelf. Anyway, sorry, getting caught off out in the weeds. Let's get back. So public libraries in Tennessee have begun to shut down as they carry out an order from state officials to remove children's books containing LGBTQ plus themes or characters. Let's see if we can make that a little bigger. For popular information, I guess that's a online thing. Rebecca Crosby and Noel Sims reported Tuesday that the book purge is required to be carried out at all 181 libraries in the Tennessee Regional Library System, which encompasses most of the state, aside from cities like Nashville and Memphis. It comes after Tennessee's Republican Secretary of State, Trey Hargett, sent a pair of letters. He didn't send 3 letters because his name's Trey. Sent a pair of letters earlier this fall. The first, sent on September 8th, said that in order to receive state and federal grants, which run through his office, libraries needed to comply with the Tennessee law banning diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's the old DEI there for the old red staters there. Offices from agencies, as well as Trumpy's executive order on gender ideology, which effectively ended the federal recognition of transgender and non-binary individuals. As the report notes, neither of these orders say anything about library books. However, Hargett argued that compliance with the executive order mandated book bans because it states that federal funds shall not be used to promote gender ideology. Not only do executive orders typically not apply to state and local governments, but the federal funds Tennessee's libraries received are not used to purchase books at all. Instead, according to the Secretary of State's website, they, quote, provide all state residents with online access to essential library and information resources, including licensed databases, a statewide library catalog, and interlibrary loan system, bibliographic services, and materials for the disadvantaged. The Every Library Institute, an advocacy group that supports federal funding for libraries, said that Hargett's instructions contain significant errors, likely exceeding the secretary's authority and reflecting a political agenda rather than a neutral or accurate interpretation of federal or state law. Hargett is setting a dangerous precedent by placing Tennessee's state and municipal government under the authority of any executive order by any president, the group continued. Executive orders are not laws. Yes. Remember that, kids. Executive orders are not laws. So when people say, well, we should have voted in Jill Stein and Jill Stein would have done all this stuff, all she would have been able to do was executive orders, because both sides of the aisle hate her and they would not work with her. So that's all she could do. And then unless they're turned into laws, the next president that comes along can overturn those executive orders. But Crosby and Sims argued even if the executive order did apply to Tennessee and local libraries, simply having books with LGBTQ stories and characters does not constitute promoting gender ideology. The classic fairy tale Little Red Riding Hood involves a wolf eating a little girl, but does not promote violence. Yeah. Children's books are stories, not instruction manuals. I don't know. Some people are off their nut will think they are instruction manuals. Hansel and Gretel. Ooh. On October 27th, Hargett sent another letter giving libraries 60 days to undertake an age appropriateness review of all books in their children's section to find any books that may be inconsistent either with Tennessee's age appropriateness law or with Trump's executive order. As Ken Paulson, the director of Middle Tennessee University's Free Speech Center, noted, there's a Free Speech Center? Okay. The age appropriateness law, which was last updated in 2024, is modeled after obscenity laws and prohibits nudity, excessive violence, and explicit sexuality, hardly the stuff of children's sections. Further, the law applies to school libraries, not public libraries. Though Hargett provided no criteria for how to assess what books would need to be purged, he did provide an example of one he felt violated both orders. Fred Gets Dressed A 2021 picture book by the New York Times bestselling author Peter Brown, as Popular Information noted. The book, which was written by a straight cisgender man, does not feature any LGBTQ characters. Instead, it's based on a childhood experience of the author in which he tried on his mother's clothing and makeup. If a book about a boy trying on his mother's clothes is the strongest example of promoting gender ideology that Hargett could identify, it raises questions about the necessity of the review. Yeah, this is all just to cause hate and stir up trouble and stir up division amongst people. Earlier this month, the state's Rutherford County Library System, which serves the cities of Smyrna and Murfreesboro, shut down several of its library branches for up to a week to meet new reporting requirements from Hargett's office. It's unclear why the Rutherford County system determined it needed to shut down in order to carry out the review, nor has it been made clear whether other library systems will be expected to do the same. As former librarian Kelly Jensen noted for the blog Book Riot, the Rutherford County system has made its own efforts to ban transgender-friendly books, but backed off from the policy earlier this summer for fear of litigation after a Murfreesboro law branding homosexuality as a form of public indecency resulted in the city being forced to settle a lawsuit for $500,000. Yikes. Kelly wrote that for Rutherford Library Systems Board, Hargett's order is a convenient means of subverting their fears of litigation, which drove them to change their anti-trans book policy earlier this summer. If the directive is from the state, then they have to comply. The Tennessee Secretary of State is granting permission slips to public library boards to ban away. This week, a total of 33 major publishers, library advocacy groups, and free speech and civil rights organizations signed on to a letter to Hargett expressing profound concern over its review mandate. The strongly worded letter. The coalition included PEN America, the American Library Association, the National Coalition Against Censorship, and the transgender rights advocacy organization GLAAD. That's GLAAD. Major publishing houses also signed on, including Penguin Random House, Macmillan, and Simon & Schuster. These types of reviews create immense administrative burdens for library systems and often lead to illegal censorship, which raises liability risks for local communities and the state, the group said. Many libraries, uncertain about the legal and procedural basis for the mandate, have had to redirect limited resources, with some temporarily closing branches to complete these reviews, which are implied to be necessary for future funding. Okay. The demands in your letter need immediate clarification, as it is not reasonable to expect libraries to follow directives that would risk violating applicable law, including the U.S. Constitution, they added. It's illegal to remove books from public libraries because some people do not like them. This is a well-settled legal principle. The Rutherford County Library Alliance, which has challenged municipal anti-LGBTQ plus laws as well as the censorship policies of the library's own board, said that, quote, "We have seen firsthand the concrete harm of the Secretary's directives. Library closures during story time, intimidation of professional librarians, and the breakdown of democratic representation in our public library system. We hope Secretary Hargett will fulfill their duty to promote library development by supporting our constitutionally guaranteed rights and our highly trained librarians," the Alliance added, rather than enabling censorship from 0.001% of our community for 100% of our community. So, wait, what's going on? The old book bans, man, and they've been doing this for a while too, the book bans, right? Going into libraries, trying to find these offensive books and get them out, to protect the kids. They do it for the kids. What else do we have here? So that was that. I did absolutely nothing yesterday. Watched some football. That was fun. Worked on thought I'd fix some stuff in my streaming program, but I was WRONG on that. U.S. condemns Brady. Okay, I already said that one. Where's this? That's that one. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. And we talked about this earlier. Pardon the delay. There's no dramatic buildup. Sorry. After DC shooting, Trump sends more troops and pledges crackdown on Afghan immigrants. Now, we don't have to go through the whole thing here, but I just wanted to look at this and go, why? Okay. So let's just say this person is the person that shot the National Guard troops is an op, right? So let's say they're an op. Whenever you do have an op situation like that, you always got to think about, okay, what's the end game, right? Where your stream stopped. I think we're still on. Kate, I hope everything's okay on your end. So like I said, Afghan is getting into a bit of business with Pakistan. They've been having some skirmishes. Pakistan and India have been having skirmishes. So why is he now cracking down on Afghan immigrants? Because Afghanistan is not playing, the Taliban's not playing along with the United States. That's what it seems like to me. Say the old time to spread some democracy in the Middle East. Following Wednesday's shooting of 2 National Guard troops in Washington, Trump responded with a pair of authoritarian measures, flooding the city with hundreds more Guard members and pledging a crackdown against Afghan immigrants. A suspect is in custody, as we told you, the Ramanullah Lakanwal person. Oh, my booty. Sorry. We told you about that. So within hours of the shooting, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced that Trump was deploying an additional 500 National Guard troops to D.C., adding to the 2,200 that are already there. Yeah, so in reality, crime had fallen to record lows in the city for over a year before Trump sent in the troops this past August over the objections of the D.C. officials. This week, the president falsely claimed that the city had not had a single homicide since his troop surge began. Jesus, man. Hey, what's up, Zell? Good to see you. Yeah, just so... Trump is like, I don't know if you've heard this phrase, the devil likes to sprinkle truth in his lies, right? He'll tell you a whole bunch of bullshit, right? But he'll tell you some shit that's true, that's easily verifiable, and they'll feed you those to get you to think, oh, well, see, he's telling the truth. Maybe he couldn't tell the truth because, national security or something. No, he's just... These people are liars, dude. They're all fucking liars. Hello. Love it when the mouse dies. Not the computer mouse, though. In comments to The Guardian, Gary Goodweather... That sounds like a Richie Rich character. A Democratic candidate in next year's mayoral election and a former U.S. Army captain who served in the National Guard said Trump's deployment of troops against U.S. citizens made such a backlash inevitable. If I'm completely honest, we've been expecting this. It hurts me to the core, he said. Look around us. These are citizens. They're residents. They're human beings. Activating the U.S. military against people within our own country, within Washington, D.C., is the wrong message. Right? I'm telling you, man, in those dystopian 1970s and 80s movies where they talk about how, there's martial law and there's troops on the streets, this is the shit they were talking about. He added that he feared sending even more troops would just inflame tensions further. David Janowski, acting director of the Constitution Project at the Project on Government Oversight, oh, he's a project at the project, described the response as an unnecessary overreach. No one should be harmed just for doing their job, and our thoughts are with them and their families. The thoughts and prayers, he said, of the 2 Guard members. At the same time, we do not believe that sending even more troops into the city is the solution. By sending more troops in, the administration risks inflaming tensions and undermining civil rights. That's probably his goal. As more information comes to light about this despicable tragedy, we urge against the administration putting more armed troops on our street corners. I think he knows that an uprising is coming. I wish he'd tell me, because I sure as hell like to know when this uprising is going to happen. Because right now I don't see it. But, you know, we can still hope against hope. The new surge of federal troops follows a court ruling issued last week by U.S. District Judge Gia Cobb, who wrote that the Trump administration exceeded the bounds of their authority and acted contrary to law by deploying the National Guard for non-military crime deterrence missions in the absence of a request from the city's civil authorities. Yes, you can't police a city with troops. That's against the law. That ruling barred the Trump administration from sending any more troops to D.C. However, it is delayed from going into effect until December 11th to give the administration time to appeal. Thus far, no motive for the attack has been determined, but Trump has already begun to use it to stoke fears about Afghan immigrants. Yes, and we must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under former President Joe Biden, Trump said Wednesday night, in which he called the shooting an act of terror. USCIS, the Citizenship and Immigration Services, then announced that effective immediately, processing of all immigration requests relating to Afghan nationals is stopped indefinitely pending a further review of security and vetting protocols. See, something tells me the fuckery is afoot, and there's something going on behind the scenes that involves Afghanistan, and they didn't play ball, so now they're getting screwed over for something. Taking the fall, as it were. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem claimed via social media that Lockenwall, the alleged shooter, was mass paroled into the U.S. Under Operation Allies Welcome, the program to allow Afghans who served alongside the U.S. military to seek refuge in the U.S. following the Taliban's return to power in 2021. According to a June 2025 audit by the Office of the Inspector General, around 90,000 vulnerable Afghans were admitted to the U.S. under the program. 90,000. While Noem said those admitted under the program were unvetted, this is untrue. As the audit shows, the program assigned several agencies to screen evacuees, check terror watch lists and criminal history, and attempt identity verification. It stated that in cases where it discovered evacuees on terror watch lists, in each of these cases, we determined that the FBI notified the appropriate external agencies at the time of watch list identification and followed all required internal processes to mitigate any potential threat. Bleep, 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 bleep. Trump's pledge to re-examine every Afghan who entered the U.S. under Biden came just days after his administration announced that it was freezing the distribution of green cards for over 235,000 refugees for what it said was detailed screening and vetting, even though residents who arrived through the refugee process are already among the most heavily vetted immigrants who enter the United States. Speaking of the alleged D.C. shooter, Aaron Reichlin-Melnick, a senior fellow at the American Immigration Council, said, "We have no idea what this man's motive was at this point, and yet the Trump administration is already moving to paint every Afghan as a threat to this country. This comes as the country has dealt with dozens of mass shootings this year alone, carried out by the people of varied origins." Well, this is what Bush did, Bush Jr. You know, he got everybody all stoked up about Afghanistan, and he goes, "Oh, guess what? Guess what, y'all? Iraq was up in there too. Iraq, Let's go get them too. Let's go get them fuckers. Yeah, man. Iraqis, Afghanistanis, they're all the same. Yeah, it was that kind of thing. We're looking at here. We're going to do a little short show today. Not anything crazy. Just checking the news. Let's see what else I got here. Let me look at my bag of goodies, my news goodies. They're not good. It's never good. Sometimes it's good. But most often than not, it's not good. Ebola, Marburg, and Lassa fever trolloping around Africa right now. Yeah. No new 9/11. No new 9/11, please. You never know. They have to pull that 9/11 rabbit out of the hat sometimes, or something like it. Pope Leo meets with Turkish president in first international trip. See, I don't really give a shit about the Pope. He's a religious leader. That's fine. Unless he just does something like super crazy, like, shoots up a nightclub or something. I don't really give a shit about popes. It's just more propaganda. I mean, if you're Catholic or you're like super religious, sorry, not sorry. Just not me no likey popies. Israel releases 16-year-old U.S. Palestinian teen after 9 months imprisonment. Jesus. Israeli troops caught on camera executing unarmed Palestinians in West Bank's Jenin. This is from The Cradle. The Cradle's another good news site I like. Again, be skeptical. Don't fall in love. But, some of this stuff, it's pretty cut and dried. European banks investors continue bankrolling Israeli crimes in Palestine. Tensions surge in Yemen as tribes call for resistance against UAE-backed militias. See, they're trying to split up the Houthis. They're trying to do it. Six soldiers injured in rare resistance operation targeting Israeli forces in Syria. See, and these stories like Putin optimistic on U.S. peace plan calls Zelensky legit. This is all a bunch of yakety yaks. What are you doing? I want some action, not words. Let's find someone else. Hang on a second. All right. Maybe we should do this once a month. Just have a grab bag of, okay. Where are we looking? Let's look at RT for a second. If you want to know all my the story sources I use, they're all down in most of them. I'd say 99% of them are down in the description below. The ones I use on the regular. Zelensky's right-hand man has quit, who is Andrei Yermak. And what does his exit mean? It means less cocaine for that guy. Sorry, dude. Kremlin confirms it has received U.S.-Ukraine peace plan draft. Okay. Oh, so this guy had to quit because of this corruption probe, like this $100 billion corruption probe or something that's going on over there. NATO members terrorizing their own people. Really? Zelensky won't cede territory to Russia. I don't do a lot of Russia. Like, they claim this land, they claim this land. That shit's just going to go back and forth anyway. And unless I'm like, they end the war, that would be newsworthy to me. Now, unless you're very interested in the deep dives with Russia and Ukraine, that's all well and good. There are a lot of people that love doing the deep dive stuff. I'm more of a surface level. Let me get you that information, and then if you want to go down that rabbit hole yourself, there's plenty of options to do that. See, like that, Maduro tells Venezuelan Air Force to be ready. Of course he's going to tell them to be ready. The hell kind of story is that? That's a stretch. Get ready. Here they come. The walls are closing in. Isn't that one of the things they said? See here. Yeah, and this technology with these weapons is getting a lot better now. You know, you have this missile that Russia has that nobody can shoot down, not yet. What is the secret show topic? You a little early, or you're very late. There's no secret show topic. This isn't secret show. This is just regular ass show. Yeah, see, all of those talky. There's like a whole bunch of these things, these kind of stories. But Apple sued over deceptive claims. Let's look at that. So, a U.S. human rights group has sued Apple in Washington, accusing the tech giant of falsely assuring customers that minerals used in its devices are responsibly sourced from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, or as I like to call it, Dr. Congo, and free of child labor. They said this as their noses grew and pushed the phone away. International rights advocates filed the case on Tuesday in the Superior Court of the District of Columbia under the city's Consumer Protection Procedures Act. In a press statement on Wednesday, IR advocates, that's that group, the International Rights Advocates, alleged that Apple's cobalt and tantalum supply chains remain tied to forced and child labor, environmental damage, corruption, and conflict in Democratic Republic of Congo and neighboring Rwanda, despite the company's claims about 100% recycled cobalt and rigorous traceability. We are bringing this lawsuit to hold Apple accountable for misleading the public and profiting from human rights abuses in its supply chain, IR Advocates Executive Director Terrence Collingsworth said. According to the organization, Apple's cobalt suppliers include Anglo-Swiss multinational Glencore, which has pleaded guilty to bribery charges in the U.S. and faced a nearly $900 million tax penalty in the Congo, and Chinese firm Hiyu Cobalt, whose subsidiary operates artisanal mines rife with forced labor. The Central African country is the world's leading producer of cobalt, a key component in batteries used in most consumer electronics, including mobile phones and electric vehicles. This is not the first time Apple has been dragged into court over minerals from Congo, which has been plagued by decades of violence in the East, linked to dozens of armed groups fighting the government for resources. Earlier this year, Belgium launched an investigation into allegations that the company manufactures its gadgets with blood minerals after international lawyers representing the Congolese government filed complaints in France and Belgium in December last year. Apple has said it strongly disputes the allegations and told suppliers in 2024 to stop sourcing certain minerals from Congo and Rwanda. In France, prosecutors have dismissed the case, citing a lack of evidence. IR advocates previously sued Tesla, Apple, and other tech companies over cobalt sourcing, but U.S. courts dismissed that case last year. Of course they did. In its latest legal action, the group is seeking to bar Apple from engaging in deceptive marketing and advertising. Floods in Sri Lanka. Yeah, wasn't there like something, where was it? Was it in Hong Kong that happened? Didn't something happen in Hong Kong? Ooh, Trump's drug boat attacks mirror controversial Obama era tactic. Ooh, what was that about? These two lovebirds. U.S. airstrikes on suspected drug smugglers in the Caribbean ordered by President Donald Trump bear similarities to the controversial signature strikes on purported terrorists under former President Barack Obama. The New York Times has argued. Yeah, you remember seeing those videos of like just people just milling about and then they just whoop, capped them. Obama killed a lot of people. The Obama-era operations conducted primarily in Pakistan and Yemen relied on detecting patterns of behavior that U.S. intelligence agencies claimed indicated terrorist activity, rather than identifying wrongdoings by specific individuals. Yeah, everybody gets punished. Collective punishment. Critics condemn the approach for its vague criteria, sometimes as broad as military-age male in an area prone to militancy and for resulting in civilian casualties. Pentagon officials have acknowledged in closed-door briefings that they often do not know the identities of the people killed in what the White House calls a campaign against narco-terrorism in the Caribbean, the New York Times reported yesterday. Despite this, U.S. officials insist that the comparison does not apply, arguing that the strikes are aimed at narcotics rather than individuals. Okay, there's not much left to this. They told us it's not a signature strike because it's not just about pattern of life, but it's also not like they know every individual person on the boats. Representative Sarah Jacobs, a member of the House Armed Services Committee, told the outlet. The Obama administration's killings of low-level militants and people merely assumed to be militants was criticized as counterproductive and fueling further radicalization, you think? Trump officials reportedly argued that attacking boats at sea reduces the risk of collateral damage. Some U.S. allies, including the UK, have reportedly declined to assist with the drug boat strikes, warning that they could violate international law. We don't want to be like those Americans who just say, flummox the law, bollocks to you. The campaign has already resulted in more than 80 deaths. Analysts increasingly suspect that the operations could be laying the groundwork for a regime change effort in Venezuela, whose president, Nicolas Maduro, the U.S. accuses of leading a criminal cartel. Blah, 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 blah. There's your criminal cartel right there. These roaches. Oh, what time is it? 12:02. I guess that's good enough. I've held your attention mostly for 2 hours. Stuff coming up over the weekend. We got this guy, the crazy guy, and his magic videos on Saturday night at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. specific time on the YouTubers, the Rumbly Tumblies, and the Book of Faces. If I can find my thing here. Here we go. All right, that's it. Yeah, we're doing so no propaganda, watch all that stuff. We're just doing a little mixed bag of goodies today. And 2 hours is good enough for that. So come see us tomorrow night for the secret show. This show, hopefully, will be back on Tuesday. Trying to do some reorganizing some of this stuff in here to make the things a little easier. So that may interfere with some shows, but we'll see. And coming out, and we got the Undercurrent. Like I said, if you want to subscribe to the Undercurrent, the link is down below in the description. Shows coming up in the future for the rest of the year. We're gonna have let's see. So not really. I don't really do. Usually I do gaming on Thanksgiving, but I didn't do that yesterday. I just like what's the point? There's what else is that going on? Okay. Yeah, so the Undercurrent next Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Specific time. This one, like I said, we'll be back on Tuesday. What else we got? Oh yeah, so coming up, there's going to be the the Festivus show. I think it's the 5th annual, 4th annual. Maybe it's 5th. I can't remember. And basically, we're just gonna get on there and just bitch about the year and our lives and how people suck and all that kind of stuff. Feats of strength. Well, the Festivus poll. Be a wondrous occasion for all. Maybe do a Christmas show. I think Christmas is on a Friday this year too. Yeah. And so is New Year's Day. So I think New Year's Eve is on a Thursday. Is that right? Let's double check the old calendar of science here. What saith you? Oh, no. So the first is on I'm totally stupid. So New Year's Eve is on a Wednesday night. That'll be impressive. Christmas Eve is on Wednesday night too, but Festivus is on Tuesday night. So Festivus will be the December 23rd, which it always is. That's Festivus. For the rest of us, don't know. I don't usually have. Maybe we'll do something for Christmas, and then we'll have our day after Christmas show. Okay, I think we're good to go. Sorry, I had to double check all that stuff. Make sure everything was coolio and the gang. Your grocer down the street puts up a Festivus poll in the produce department. Hell yeah. Hells yeah. We'll have more fun and laughs and weird stuff on the secret show tomorrow night. And like I said, the coming up December 23rd is Festivus. We'll be celebrating that. Maybe something on Christmas. New Year's Eve. I don't know. It seems like a whole bunch of people might be doing something. What we might do like a peek-in show where we get a couple people on. We'll peek in at other people's shows and see what they're, if Willie's doing a live stream or something. If you didn't catch Willie and Angie Moon yesterday, that was good stuff too. So Willie's had some issues lately that he's had to deal with. That's prevented him from doing his show, so he's trying to do more of that. And I'm trying to get more people to come on too, not just for ExtraBulla Live, but also for the Undercurrent and maybe the secret show. See, the thing is, getting people to come on the secret show, usually they have to be like West Coasters or somebody, out in the Pacific, right? If you're in Hawaii or something, because the show starts at midnight Eastern. And if the people on the East Coast to try to come on, boy, they're already like, nah, I'm tired. Bruh, I'm so tired. But West Coasters, it's only 9:00 when it starts, so it's not that bad. They just can't stay on for 5 hours. You can't do a political matrix show started at 11 p.m. and have it go to like 4 a.m. I mean, you could, but holy shit, people be swaying like pine trees in a hurricane during that thing. I don't care how exciting the topics are. To have it that late would be crazy. But we'll see. So all this is in the mix. Everything is happening. Things are happening. I'm going to fix this thing. I promise. What's this, Kate? When did you put in the thing? What is this? Tell me your motives. Is that this thing? Okay. Yeah. I've been threatening to have a show with Willie, and talk about music, and maybe get some other people, maybe get Kevin from Black Bear News to come in since he's a musician himself. You get Angie. She's like a music historian. I know some other people on radio that I worked with too. It'd be great to have like a little power panel of rock music and history and that kind of stuff. All right. Oh, that's Willie's show? Okay. So, okay. Yeah, Willie, I was a little disappointed you didn't get as hammered as I thought you would, but I'm glad your liver is still intact. So that's all that matters. Why didn't you get hammered for me? Why didn't you risk your life for me? You son of a biscuit eater. Okay. That's it for me. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Secret Show. Peace.
This is SETI Alpha 5. Woo!
Soon.